So the new Mega Safari Harvest update is here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys every single thing that's been added inside of this update. We're going to be going over all of the new pets, all of the new seeds, and of course all of the new features that have been added in this update. This will be the only video you guys need to watch on this entire update, so sit back, relax, and let's get straight into this video. So first things first, if we go ahead and make our way over to the shop right over here, inside of the shop we actually got a bunch of new additions. So starting off with the first addition that we got, this is of course going to be the new Safari Seed Pack. We also got a new Savannah Crate, a brand new pet called the Gecko. We're going to come back to the Gecko in a minute. Now we also got a brand new gear called the Cheetah Pendant, and once again we're going to come back to this and check it out. We got a Hyena, Cape Buffalo, we got a RC Safari Jeep, which is fun. We got a Hippo, a Ancestral Horn, a Crocodile, a Safari Charm of some sort, and finally we got ourselves a Lion. So thankfully no new egg this time, so we don't have to go ahead and get all of these pets from a egg, which as you guys know is super annoying. But unfortunately we did get a seed pack this time around, but I've heard that some people actually like seed packs, so yeah, good for you. Now moving on, inside of the new Safari Crate, or the Savannah Crate is what this thing is called, as you guys can see we got ourselves a bunch of new Savannah or Safari type cosmetic items. We got an open tent and whatnot, so yeah, it looks very cool. And over inside of the new Safari Seed Pack we got ourselves 6 new seeds, which is very exciting. So we got a daisy, we got a bamboo tree, amber fruit shrub, a castor bean, java banana, and a peacock tail. Once again we're gonna come back to each and every one of these, so don't you guys worry, we'll be back to them very soon. Now you might be wondering, how do you actually unlock all of this? Well, it's the same as before. Just like in the part 1 update, we have to go ahead and complete a bunch of these community milestones. So here is all of the community milestones and when you guys are gonna have to unlock it. So as you guys can see, we also get a brand new Safari wood fence at 100 billion players. At 120 billion players, you guys are gonna unlock the Safari Seed Pack, Savannah Crate, Gecko, Cheetah Pendant. As you guys can see, it is all gonna be unlocked through right here. But if we go back just a little bit, check this out. So first things first, at 150 billion, I believe that is, we are gonna get ourselves a new weather called the Safari Dusk. But at 160 billion, we are gonna get a new seed inside of the seed shop called the Zebra Zinkly. Now this is exciting. So you're gonna be able to unlock this from the shop right here itself. And yeah, once again, we're gonna have to get to 160 billion community points, and then this is gonna pop up inside of the shop. And as you guys can see, this is a transcendent seed. We're gonna test this out in a minute. There it is. And yeah, this is the seed that had been leaked for ages and ages, that had been rumored to be coming to the game for ages, and we finally have it in the game. But anyways, at 300 billion, as you guys can see, the event shop cooldown is actually gonna go down to 10 minutes, which is super OP. Right, so first things first, let's go ahead and test out all of the new gears that we got in this update, starting off with the Cheetah Pendant. And this thing is really cool because it is supposed to turn you into a cheetah. It's not working right now, unfortunately, but yeah, basically this thing turns you into a cheetah, just like the werewolf, if you guys remember that. It is pretty much the same as that from the Halloween update. Once again, I'm really sorry it doesn't work. As you guys can see, testing is over, so it's not gonna work properly. We also have the RC Jeep, which is a remote control car that you can drive around the map. I really wish I could show you guys this, but I'm really sad I can't. But yeah, this is another very cool little item. As you guys can see, you're holding sort of a remote and you can control a car that goes around the entire map. It's a lot of fun. Now the next two gears that we have actually just summon in a bunch of weathers. Once again, these don't really work right now because again, testing is over. One more thing that I completely forgot to mention is there's gonna be a brand new NPC that stands somewhere right over here. And this NPC, you can go ahead and trade a bunch of pets, any pets that you want, and in return he's gonna give you guys a bunch of seed packs, the brand new Safari Seed Packs, or 5 new shards. That's right guys, we have 5 new mutations in this update. We're gonna go over all of these mutations very soon. So yeah, once again, there's gonna be an NPC here. He gives you seed packs, eggs, and 5 new shards and a bunch of crates too, which is pretty cool. Anyways, I know you guys have been waiting for all of the brand new seeds, so let's go ahead and start off with that. So starting off with the daisy, which is going to be a 40% chance from the brand new seed pack. Here is what the daisy is going to look like. Now I could have sworn this was already in the game, but apparently this is not already in the game. But let's go ahead and see how much this is worth. And as you guys can see, this thing is about 30,000 shekels. about 18 to 30,000 shekels, so not too bad at all. Moving on, next up we have the bamboo tree, and this is what it is going to look like. So let's go ahead and see how much this thing is worth, and as you guys can see, this thing is about 40,000 shekels. Moving on, next up we have the amber shrub, and yeah, this thing looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and see how much this thing is worth, and as you guys can see, this thing is about 66,000 shekels, about 77,000 shekels, so between 60,000 shekels and above, so not bad at all. Next we have castor beans. Now these don't really look anything special, but let's see how much they're worth, and as you guys can see, these are worth about 50,000 shekels, and you can grow a bunch of them at the same time. So honestly, this is not a bad plant to make money if you guys are a newer player. Next up we have Java bananas, and this one kind of looks cool. So let's go ahead and see how much this thing is worth, and as you guys can see, this thing is actually worth a pretty decent amount of money. I believe it's worth 80,000 shekels and above. So yeah, not bad at all, guys. I think the base price for this is probably somewhere around 80,000 shekels, which is very, very good. And finally, guys, moving on, the 0.5% chance to get the peacock tail. Unfortunately, I did not manage to get the peacock tail, but 11th Doctor here did manage to get it. And this is what it's sort of going to look like. Unfortunately, it's not in my garden, but yeah, this is what it is going to be looking like. The values for this aren't really confirmed yet, but it seems to be about 140,000 shekels. So nothing too crazy for the peacock tail. Honestly, it's an okay plant. But anyways, moving on to the zebra zinkly, and this thing is gonna surprise you guys. Once again, you can get this from the regular seed shop, but let's go ahead and see how much this thing is actually worth. So as you guys can see, the smallest one I have right now is worth about 243,000. Now it's really difficult to actually like do anything with these. Once again, here's another one which is worth about 300,000, no mutations. Once again, another one that is worth 237,000. Guys, I have a strong feeling that this thing might actually be better than the bone blossom, because as you guys can see, the prices of this thing are actually pretty insane. And yeah, most of them are over 200,000 shekels, which if you guys didn't know, bone blossom base value is about 200,000 shekels, or was it 170,000 shekels, something like that. I'm like 90% sure this thing might be better than something like bone blossom, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, this might be the new best plant in the entire game. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about all of the new pets that we got in this update. But before we do that, I was just alerted to something absolutely insane. So once again, shout out to 11th Doctor, because they kind of got this to my attention. But you guys remember this secret obby that's been in the game, right? I mean, this was in the game and then got removed, but as you guys can see, it's back. The secret obby is low-key kind of back. And yeah, there is a platform that he can stand on right over there, so that's pretty cool. I really like that. Maybe there is a secret reward you might get for completing the entire obby. Maybe. I actually have no idea if there is a secret reward, so if you guys find that, please let me know in my Discord server. But anyways, the first pet that we have, once again, all of these you can get from the shop right there, so nothing too special. You don't need to get an egg or something. But our first pet is going to be a gecko, and this guy just increases the variant chance of safari type plants within a 30 stud radius, so not too bad. This is a pretty cool pet, but again, nothing too special. Next up we have a hyena, and this is what it's going to look like. Now this guy is actually pretty cool. Gains an additional 4 XP per second for every hyena in your garden. Requires another non-hyena pet equipped to activate this effect. So theoretically, according to what I understand with my small brain, you could have about 7 of these hyenas in your garden and 1 random pet, and that's basically going to go ahead and increase its XP. Or maybe you could have 7 capybaras and then 1 of this hyena. No, I don't think that would do well. I don't know, guys. Let me know if you guys go ahead and test this hyena pet, and let me know what the best XP leveling method is. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Next up, we have the Cape Buffalo. This looks, again, very cool. This guy has a 10% chance for harvested fruits to duplicate. Rarer crops have a lower chance to duplicate. 5% extra chance for safari type fruits to duplicate. So if you guys did not manage to get the giant ant, this is actually a very cool alternative. So next up we have the hippo. Once again, looks very cool. Every 3 minutes eat a watermelon for 2 times its value, and bonus has a 30% to recover the watermelon seed. So this is useless. But again, every 18 minutes goes to a nearby fruit and applies the monsoon mutation, which I guess is pretty cool. But yeah, the hippo is very lackluster. I don't like it at all. They need to buff this thing, bro. It has a very bad ability. Next up we have the crocodile, and this guy every 20 minutes bites on a random plant or a random pet for 30 seconds and performs a role. Plants grow an additional 4.1 seconds faster, whereas pets get additional 35 XP per second. So this might actually be very good for leveling up pets. But again, this only happens every 20 minutes. So if you can maybe get a rainbow variant of this guy, that would be pretty good. But as a regular variant, this thing isn't that great. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have the lion. The lion every 13 minutes roars, calls pets in your garden to move towards it. 404 total cooldown advancement is shared across each pet. Max 60 seconds per pet. So this means if you guys have like 4 pets in your garden, each of those pets is going to lose a minute off of their cooldown ability. So if you guys have multiple lions, that would obviously make things a lot faster. Additionally, this guy every 23 minutes roars and mutates fruit up to the number of safari type pets you have in your garden with a random safari mutation. So once again, for example, if you guys have 7 random safari type pets in your garden, this guy is going to go ahead and apply 7 safari type mutations to your plants, which is actually not bad. That's actually pretty cool. It's really useful for something like butterflies if you guys are trying to get rainbow plants or something. So yeah, that's honestly the only good use I can find for this guy, but if you guys can find other uses, please let me know in the comments down below. By the way, there was a revamp of all of the menus here, so let's go ahead and check this out. So if you guys are wondering what the quality of life updates were, check this out, guys. All of this has been made a little bit better, and honestly, it looks really nice. So yeah, the UI is a whole lot nicer. Just wanted to mention that before we go ahead and move on to the next thing. But anyways, as you guys remember, I said that there is 5 new mutations in this update. You guys can get these mutations from the NPC that spawns right here. You basically have to go ahead and give him pets, and once you guys give him pets, he is going to give you guys a random pet shard or a seed pack or an egg, just like I mentioned at the start of this video. Well, here we have some of these pets, and as you guys can see, this is a crocodile with the giraffe mutation. That's right, guys. So we have a new pet shard called the pet shard oxpecker, pet shard giraffe right there, as you guys can see, and a bunch of others that we're going to go ahead and go over. But starting off with the pet shard giraffe, basically what this does is this crocodile is going to have its own ability right there, plus it's going to have the giraffe's ability right here. So now you can have 2 abilities from 2 different pets, which is pretty cool. It also has a small gain in the pet's passives apparently, so that's pretty cool too. If we go ahead and compare this to a regular crocodile, as you guys can see, this guy's abilities are right there, and this guy's abilities are right there. So the increase isn't that much. I think it's a 20-second increase. Yeah, it's like a 40-second increase, so nothing too crazy. I guess that's pretty cool. Next up, we have the oxpecker mutation, and this is what it's going to look like. So I went ahead and put it on my gecko, and as you guys can see, it's going to keep its original ability, and it's going to have the oxpecker ability right there, but this only gains a tiny increase to the pet's passive. So it seems like all of these pet shards actually give a increase to your pet's passive, which is pretty cool. 5 of these new mutations, these new pet mutations that have been added to this game, and I believe I know what these mutations are. So I think we have, of course, a oxpecker mutation, a zebra mutation, a giraffe mutation, rhino, and finally a elephant mutation. That is what I think all of these mutations are going to be. And the rarer the pet, the rarer its passive, or the more its passive buff is going to be. Once again, unfortunately, these shards are very difficult to get, and I didn't actually manage to get them. One additional quality of life update that we got that I'm super happy about is actually inside of the garden ascension tab right here. So if you go over to what this guy is selling, we actually got even more pet inventory capacity upgrades here. I'm not sure if this is going to be coming to the main game this week, but I am sure that the devs are planning to add more inventory space for pets inside of the game, so that is a huge W. It's probably going to be through the ascension shop though, so you guys will have to grind out a bunch of those tokens. With that being said though, guys, that is pretty much every single thing I have for this update. If you guys found this video helpful, drop a like and subscribe. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.